Hello everyone, and welcome to this video on the latest version of Tracks, which comes with the DMT 1.9 update. So yeah, I'm going to run you through the new features and let's take a look. Cool. As you know, Tracks is the Auto Coloriser that keeps your track colors in sync with your Deafman themes, or with any other theme for that matter. So let's take a look at what's new. Beginning with the sensitivity slider here, we now have two modes for it. If you right click it, you have real time and button up. So in previous versions used to be button up, where you would just drag the slider and then release, and then upon release you'll get an update of your track colors, right? I think real time is neater because I got it to a point where it's interactive enough to offer that as well. Yeah, okay, that's one thing. Then, as you've noticed, there's a whole new section here left of the color palette, and let's begin by collapsing it, so you don't have to see it if you don't want to, which is quite convenient. But I like to keep it on because it kind of, it's kind of not that obstructive. Just be aware of that if you were to engage like a scanner arm here to color something, that'll fade out to get out of the way. Okay, cool. So what does it do? This is the most important part here, which is the analysis parameters. So basically what you see here is already exists largely in the CFG menu. So we come down here to analysis, the analysis tab. These are the parameters that the filter looks at to determine. So these are from the currently loaded theme. Yeah. So just so we all understand it, these are parameters of the currently loaded theme that are largely responsible for Live's appearance, right? So the most important ones, if you will. So that's basically that has been in here like since version 1, and now we have direct access to it, which is convenient. You don't really have to learn these by heart. They're more meant to be painted, right? So you just basically drag across it to see if you can find something which is a good starting point, right? Something that you like to look at, basically. So we're currently in analogous mode, and analogous means that our tracks should be colored according to similar colors in the theme. Meaning, if you have a reddish theme, we get reddish tracks. Right. Okay. So well, currently we're in all mode, so it basically colors all our tracks just based on what we have in the filter here. So, but as this is a rather warm theme, it has actually both, to be fair. So it has like a bluish and reddish color. So maybe that's not ideal, but hey ho. We can simply turn them on and off to see if this is going in the direction that we like. Okay, yeah, let's do this for instance. Why not? I'm just going to make this window a bit bigger so it's easier to see. Okay, now there's two different modes for this, and that's important to understand. So we have this toggle here, which is per theme, on and off, right? Per theme on means these settings here are stored per theme. So if I now go to the next theme, as you can see, this changes. Okay, and there's a twist to it. So usually you would like to keep per theme on. Let's restore that, and yeah, so that's obviously preferred because the other one counts for all themes, right? So this stores it for this particular loaded theme. But there's also another quirk to it. So if you have this on global, I could make the toggle to global, but I guess it's if you know what it does, it's easy enough. If we go to global, we can just simply drag around these sliders, which are weight sliders, to balance the parameters and give us variations, because Live's color palette is obviously quite large. It has 70 colors, and by dragging the weight, we get different accents here in our coloring. Okay, so in global mode, when per theme is off, you have access to all of them. once you turn on per theme, you notice that some of them become disabled. Yeah, and that is because per theme is more strict to respect the color directive, and the color directive is it's basically what we have here: analogous, complementary, temperature, monochromatic, and desaturated, which has a quick access toggle here, so you can toggle through these, right? And analogous means that it'll leave us, if properly set up here, it'll leave us with reddish colors, right? Reddish gray, because that's desaturated, doesn't count really. And then as this orange here is kind of has a lot of blue in it, although it might just look orange, it'll give us some purple as well, just so you understand. Okay, great. So this means that if we go through the directive modes here and go to complementary and set this up properly, you can set it up per mode, right? If I switch through this, you can set it up per mode. Okay, so we would like to see a lot of blue here as well. None of that, because it's complementary. It should all be, well, bluish and purplish. I mean, it might not be the ideal theme to demonstrate this, but you get the idea. It goes along those ways, right? Temperature is looks at the basic temperature and would just reflect that. Monochromatic is same but different, and desaturated would just prefer these pastel colors with low saturation. But you have, again, different setups per mode when per theme is on. Once per theme is off, it would still store it, obviously, which is good because you set it up, but it'll let you freely enable or disable whatever you want to see here, right? And so you get all these variations here, and you'll, by the end of the video, you'll understand why this is important. Okay, so that's good to know. Let's just keep this off for now and focus on our coloring here. Let me just collapse this here so we can see the whole thing. So what do you notice that we have free floating tracks, which are not part of any groups. Then we have groups and another group nested to it, right? So this is it's obviously important because it shows it better demonstrates the behavior of tracks. Okay, so now let's take a look at uniform. Uniform simply means these different categories here, audio, MIDI, and group, they're basically colored in a uniform fashion. You know? So all the groups are uniform, and your free-floating tracks as well. Now these are, you can cycle through these through the uniform mode because it has different modes. It has 3 or 4 different modes, I think. So the first one would be everything uniform, which might be too boring for you. But if you click that again, then you notice that the free-floating tracks all of a sudden have a spectral distribution again, but the groups remain uniformly colored. Okay, you hit it one more time, and then this swaps around. So the groups get the spectral distribution, which is set here, by the way. Yeah, right. Tonal. This is now for tracks, but that's the groups. Tonal direction, spectral, and just luminance, so black and white. But let's stick to spectral down. So this does that, right? So you click through that, everything is uniform. Free floating tracks are only uniform, groups uniform, and a mix basically. Okay. Yeah. So that's good to know. Now, if we just loosen the filter a little bit and have our spectral distribution here, which should be, let's turn this on, yeah, and click on that. We have a nice, nice kind of spectral distribution here. Then you can use the track sort order because it obviously tries to understand what is how the distribution works here. So we've got hue, and again 3 different modes to be cycled through here. I might make this, skin this a bit more so that it becomes more obvious. But if you click it multiple times, you will see that that at least for the free floating tracks down here, it changes. It makes the gradient slightly larger, and then there's different modes to that. I think spectral spread is pretty It's just beautiful, you know, it gives you just a smooth gradient. But let's try to go to, not desat, we want complementary. Just open up the filter a little bit so you can better see it. Yeah. So let's turn on uniform, something like that. And it doesn't work if these are on, right? So it only works for the free floating tracks. One thing to understand here is that, here we go. One thing to understand here is that if your filter is too tight, there's only a few colors, this will not really have an effect. I'm still on it, but Codex unfortunately is too thick these days because they're about to update to the next version, and whenever that happens, like the week before that, the models get nerfed and go proper stupid. So I was tired of explaining this, but it works if your filter is loose enough to just reflect your changes here. So it's basically like, you know, making your gradient larger or extending. It duplicates the tracks, as you can see here, right? So that the last bit will be 3 of them. Okay, that's that. What else have we got? Yeah, we can obviously lock our sensitivity slider here, because if we go through these different directives here, as you notice, the slider, the filter slider gets stored per mode. But if you right-click the directive slider, then you will notice that you can click through it, and the slider will just remain locked in place as indicated by this lock here. Okay. So what else have we got? Yeah. So for groups, groups, our beloved groups. Let's do that. Let's go to uniform and color our groups uniformingly. Something like, well, something more visible, perhaps. Whatever, something like that. Oops. Yeah, okay, I'm just trying to understand what's going on here, but it actually works as intended. Yeah, so you have group sat boost here, and what group sat boost does is very simple. It lets you adjust the amount of saturation that the actual group tracks have versus their members, versus the member tracks, right, or the group tracks themselves, right? So that's just a matter of preferences. If you like your groups kind of desaturated, or if you want them punchier, right? Let me just try to find us a better filter here. Just do that. So we've got analogous. We want something on the reddish side of things. And yeah, that's pretty much what we have. Let's get rid of this punchy pink here, something like that. Okay, so group sat boost again tries to assign a very saturated color to the group tracks themselves. That's one thing. And what else have we got? Let me think. Yeah, I guess for this video, I'll cut it off now, and I'll make another one for tracks where I'll be explaining the map rules. Okay, so this is auto coloring based on your track names. Okay, see you in the next vid.